Muy buenas a todos desde Santo Domingo 2023. Aquí estoy con Daniel Frank Sedgwick. Daniel o Dan es sin duda alguna una de las personas más importantes en lo que la numismática hispanoamericana se refiere. Es el CEO de Frank Sedgwick, es también el presidente de la IAPN, la Asociación Internacional de Profesionales Numismáticos, y bueno, probablemente una de las personas más influyentes del mundo, de este mundo numismático a nivel internacional. Así que es todo un honor poder entrevistarle. Eso sí, Dan entiende bien castellano, sí que es cierto que a lo mejor no lo habla tan bien, entonces vamos a ir a la entrevista en inglés, que a lo mejor soy yo el que no lo habla tan bien, pero bueno, yo creo que aquí lo compensamos. Hello, Dan. Very pleased to be with you here. So the first question would be about this event. Why you from Florida you are supporting this so much? Because it's not that you are supporting this like economically, but you are also pushing the community.
Right. Well, this is a very important event for all Latin numismatics. It has grown incredibly since its beginnings, and we were there at the beginning of that, and we've just watched it grow and supported it all along, specifically because these are all of our colleagues and clients that we do business with and have the same interests that we have. It's a small segment in the United States, but it's a growing segment around the world.
Mm-hmm. And I also see that this, let's say, attitude from Sedgwick is not only for this event, but also like internationally. Like you are now the president of the EAPN, and I also know that you are pushing many events all around the world. Yeah. So why do you think that this is so important for collectors on one hand, from professionals on the other hand, to be connected and to have this web of network?
Well, it's a very good question, and I'm going to take it literally in the sense of gathering physically. I think that's very important these days because so much emphasis is put upon digital and online and doing business not face-to-face. This is a return to what some of us older dealers are used to, which is a face-to-face meeting. And it's something I learned a long time ago with the IAPN, that we have a congress every year in a different country, and it's an expensive thing to go to these congresses, and a lot of members wonder whether it's really worth it to spend all of the money to do that, let alone support it. But I think nowadays, if you ask any of the attendees, they will say that it was one of the best things they ever did. They made personal connections, they made friends, they did business and did deals that just wouldn't have happened otherwise. And for the collectors, they get to meet experts and learn, and it's an invaluable part of what we do.
Mm-hmm. I will also add to all what you said that I fully agree, that here you can also meet a lot of people, and you can be with very important people in the community. So, for example, for me, this is like a whole pleasure and an honor to be with Dan. But you can see that here it is me, and here it is Dan. You know, so like me with somebody, one of the most important numismatics in the whole world. I also want to ask you about this interest that you said that there is a growing interest about Latin American coins in the United States. Why do you think so? And I also want to ask if it is something that is local from Florida and maybe Texas, or these places that used to be Spanish, like maybe New Orleans and so on, or if there is also interest in other areas like New York or the north of the country, let's say.
Well, I don't think that it is regional too much. Obviously, it does have something to do with heritage, and Spanish-speaking areas or of Spanish-speaking heritage would be more interested. But I think that it's part of a general expansion to other types of world coins. The U.S. coin market is the largest coin market in the world, with something like 300,000 continuous collectors of U.S. coins. But after a while, a lot of those collectors and dealers realize that there are only so many types of coins you can buy and sell in U.S. coins or collect. And so they have discovered the world coin market. And a lot of that also is due to encapsulation by NGC, PCGS, because it's a game that U.S. collectors can understand and dealers can understand and play along with. So once they've got that in place, once they've had that in place, they've started to have interest in all kinds of world coins. And it's mostly due to, quite frankly, our auctions and other auctions that concentrate on Latin American coins, that we've been putting the coins in front of the right people in the United States, and now there's a big following there as well. So that's the idea.
Yeah. So then this encapsulation of also the, let's say, the Makukina coins. So this was also positive for the market, in your opinion, like
Yes.
like
Yeah.
so because maybe because the American collector understood
Yeah.
the grade, even. But do you really think that this is something like positive in the long term? Because sometimes it is very difficult to, let's say, to have a Makukina can have a lot of characteristics, and to reduce it to a single number, it's very, very difficult. It's not like a Morgan dollar.
No, I totally understand. And for the longest time, I did resist it because, just as you say, the value of a cob really has to do with the quality of its strike and not its technical condition. But on the other hand, there are so many cobs out there, and if you want to have more interest and more collectors, you have to give them another way to collect. So a lot of the newer United States collectors will collect strictly by grade, but some of the older collectors and more knowledgeable will collect by actual quality. And you put it all together and you have a much higher market for everything. Because in years past, in decades past, the only competition to the collector was the jewelry market. That jewelry market is still there, but now the jewelry market, as they should have been all along, are forced to take only the ones that are not high grade or not choice strike, because the advanced collectors have gotten to the point where they will pay proper money for those coins and the jewelers can have all the rest.
Regarding the interest in the United States about the Hispanic coins, let's say the Spanish coinage, is it more interested in the virreinal coins, like the Spanish coins in America, or the Republican coins? Which ones are pay more attention?
Yeah, definitely the colonial. It's because it's a slow creep up to more modern material. I think that, well, it goes both ways, actually. There are a lot of strict U.S. dealers and collectors, excuse me, who understand the very high grades, which only happen with more modern Republican coins. But in the colonial, there's just so much more history that actually ties in with United States history. We've been saying for a long, long time that the colonial coinage of Spanish America was legal tender in the United States until 1857. But it's only recently that collectors and in the United States have really absorbed that and said, well, you know what, these are our coins too. We didn't make our own coins, so the Spanish colonial coins were our coins and we should be collecting them.
So those who bought this kind of coins, like a Spanish virreinal coins, like back 20 years ago, they made a huge investment. But what happens now? I mean, like, do you think that if somebody buys high quality coins from the Spanish market, because they're very expensive, do you think that there is still, some area or some space for the prices to go up?
Yes, definitely for the rarities. Because what has happened is that the whole market has shifted upward, but not in a relative way. In other words, what used to be very expensive as a rarity within its own area only went up with the rest of the market at the same price level as the non-rarities. People tell me all the time, well, I have a coin that's common in mint state, and then I have a very rare coin that's VF, but you will pay me more for the mint state coin that's common. That makes no sense. Well, but that's just the way the market has been. But I think that expansion into the rarities and paying very good money for the rarities despite the grade is something that will happen eventually.
Okay, so then this
Excuse me.
would it be your advice to focus on the rarities?
Yeah, for now, yes. And my advice has always been to become knowledgeable and become specialized in what you like. It may take a little while to find your focus and know what it is that excites you and inspires you to learn and to share your knowledge with others. But once you have that, then you just invest fully And don't worry about the actual investment. Just know that as long as you're not being crazy in what you pay, eventually it will all go up anyway.
And about you yourself, do you collect anything?
I actually do, but because I don't wish to compete with my own clients, I don't collect Cobbs or shipwreck coins or Latin American. I used to. My origin in the business with my father was Colombian coins, and I still have my collection of half dollars, Colombian half dollars, but I don't collect them anymore. I just have that. What I do collect is gold coins of the Dahlonega Mint in U.S., which is, most people don't know there was a mint in Georgia in the South. It technically is the closest U.S. mint to where I live, but I also really like the city of Dahlonega. It's a beautiful little town. It was a gold rush town in the mid-1800s, early and mid-1800s. Very short series, but it is very much a rare mint, and you need to have some experience and knowledge and want to spend the money for each of the coins. They're way more expensive than regular U.S. gold coins. But what I really like is that it combines that with the modern concept of paying by grade, because you really only concentrate on graded coins. That's where the value is. So it's been kind of an enjoyment for me, but at the same time, like I'm saying, I've learned it. It was something I got excited about, and I learned it, and that's how every collector should be.
Okay, and now going for the personal point of view or your personal taste, 3 very quick questions. Which is your favorite Spanish mint in America?
Oh, that's an interesting question. You mean an old mint?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, probably Potosí, Bolivia. I've studied Potosí, Bolivia coins my entire career. I've kept records of what coins, what dates have appeared for so long. Really just the Cobbs, but that has to be my favorite.
And you are also publishing some books about Potosí, like the ones of Mastalid, that it is
Sure.
who are publishing it.
Yeah, and eventually I will have my own book about them, but what I'm working on right now, and this is why it was a difficult question, is because I also like the Bogota, Colombia mint, and I'm publishing, this year I will finish a book, well now I'm saying it, I have to, on Bogota, Colombia, 2 escudos from the Arce period.
Okay, then what is your favorite Spanish coin in America?
Well, see, now that brings it around, because even though Potosí is my favorite mint, my favorite coin is the Colombian 2 escudos. It's a perfect combination to me of rarity and a challenge in figuring out what you're seeing, because literally you could have a coin with some of the date visible and think you know it, and you don't. It's quite a puzzle.
Okay, now what is your favorite country from the American republics? I mean.
Well, I haven't been to enough of them to really know.
Well, like from the numismatic perspective.
Yeah. Well, interestingly enough, I'd probably say Argentina, because they've had such a variety of coinage over the decades and the centuries. And to me, they've always had a respect for their coinage and their history. So it's interesting, but I have 3 different answers for 3 different questions.
Yeah, and then the 4th question is, what is your favorite coin from any Latin American country?
Well, that's any one single coin. That's pretty difficult to say. Because there are so many that have passed through my hands. It's hard for me to think of one particular favorite. And I guess I would have to narrow it down to a Cobb. Let's throw in another 4th country that I haven't mentioned yet, which is Mexico.
Okay.
We handled an 8 escudos royal. I have to say that is the top in numismatics for any Spanish colonial country. It's something that was only made in the colonies, and it is always going to be the most valuable coinage among collectors.
Okay, so I don't know if you want to add anything, Dan?
No, that's fine. I enjoyed this interview. Thank you for doing it.
All right, so thank you very, very much. I will go again in Spanish. Muchísimas gracias, Dan. Yo creo que esta ha sido una entrevista de absoluto lujo, poder entrevistar a Dan Sedgwick, como digo, presidente del IAPN, nada menos, y bueno, director de Daniel Frank Sedgwick, que es una de las casas de subastas más conocidas del mundo y una de las grandes especialistas en la moneda hispanoamericana. Nada, sin más, me despido. Un saludo. Hasta pronto.
Chao.